Niklsun here, and welcome back to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. This is a show where we break down all of the day's movie news and go over what it means for the production in general. If you're looking for a specific story, check the description of this video below. You can see the start times as to when they all start. But without any further ado, let's get started with today's hot topics. I'm sure everybody out there is aware of the infamous Sony hacks that happened in winter 2014. And of all of the emails that came out, one email I think caught more attention than anything, or at least was talked about for longer. And that was the prospects of 23 Jump Street meeting up with Men in Black. Now, I can't remember if I even did a video about that when it came out, but I remember not being excited about it. I thought that it was a stupid idea. I didn't know how it would work. But now it looks like it's it looks like it's what 23 Jump Street's going to be. Is not only a sequel to 22 Jump Street, but it's also going to be a reboot of the Men in Black franchise, because they've confirmed that Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith are not coming back. Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill are coming back. Now, this is how I see the movie. I hope that it is still 23 Jump Street going into the Men in Black. I hope that Jenko and Schmidt are the main characters. Now, Lord and Miller are executive producing the movie. They've been heavily involved in the script writing process. I don't know if they were the actual writers of the movie, but they've been heavily involved in the creation of the script. So that gives me a lot of hope, because that's one of the main reasons why the first two movies worked. So the first movie made fun of unnecessary remakes. The second one made fun of overblown sequels. The third one is now making fun of movie crossovers, which I always thought that it was franchises. I thought that they kind of did that in the ending credits of 22 Jump Street, but I always thought franchise was the way to go with the third one. This kind of is multi-franchise or cross-franchise. So you're taking two successful franchises and now blending them together. That, to me, is a smart way to go about it, because these movies are always meta. They're always very self-aware. And so the fact that we're going to get this movie, and James Bobin, the guy who directed The Muppets, and he has Alice Through the Looking Glass coming out, which looks interesting. Visually, at least, it looks interesting. I don't know how the story's going to be. And I don't like Johnny Depp really anymore. But I think it would be curious to see what he does with it. I hope that he's able to go a little bit more adult-oriented with the humor. And that is one of the big moments, or the big question marks here. Is it going to be 22 Jump Street R-rated, or is it going to be Men in Black PG-13? I think it would be a disservice to have the 23 Jump Street crew have to be censored. I think it's going to be R-rated. I think that's the only way they can go. The success of Deadpool has shown studios that if a movie is done right, an R rating doesn't matter. It will make money. And with something like Men in Black and 23 Jump Street, I think that needs to be R-rated. I think that the type of character interactions they're going to have, I think they're going to need to do that. So I would really like to see, well, I mean, going back here, like, I just got some notes here. Justin Kroll from Variety stated that per his sources, the script for this film is as funny, if not funnier, than 22 Jump Street. Now, whether or not he's blowing smoke, we don't know. Production is scheduled to start later on this summer. I think in either June or July. If that's the case, we're going to have a lot more information about this movie a lot sooner than we thought. I never thought this movie would come out. I honestly thought that it was a really stupid idea. The more and more I think about it, and I had a friend on Facebook really remind me about how cool of an idea this could be. And the more and more I think about it, the more of a cool idea it actually does become. Because if you don't think about it like, how do I word this? If you don't think about it like 23 Jump Street going into Men in Black, but you think about the Jenko and Schmidt being introduced to a world of aliens, and then being introduced to a world of a secret agency where they fight aliens. And not thinking about the Men in Black films we got in 97 and 2002 and 2012. Thinking about the idea of what the Men in Black is and bringing them into a 23 Jump Street universe. Oh my God, that to me sounds hilarious. I think there's a lot of possibilities they can do with that. The problem that I can see happening is they're also using this movie to reboot the Men in Black franchise, which to me means they're going to put a lot of emphasis on the new characters in Men in Black. And that is where I think the movie could derail itself. It all is going to depend on who they get. It's going to depend on who they get to sell us on this crew. Now, I honestly don't know who they're going to go with. This is a point where I would say getting somebody who's not white actually makes sense, regardless of their talent, because this could be a launch pad. Now, I say regardless for their talent, it means that they don't necessarily need to be an Oscar-winning actor. They don't need to give the best performance. They need to be funny. They need to be talented. They need to have comedic timing. And at that point, I think, if we got like Damon Wayans Jr. well, he might be a little too old. Well, no, Damon Wayans Jr., he's in his mid-30s, I think, right now. Either his late 20s. No, he's in his mid-30s. If he's in his I'd have to look that up, actually. Damn it, I don't know. If he's in his mid-30s, I would like him to be the older agent, and maybe you could have somebody along the lines of... To be honest, I would love the... what's his name? The guy from Kimmy Schmidt, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. The guy who plays Dong. Because he's in the Maze Runner movies. And he is great in the Maze Runner movies. I think he would actually be hilarious, especially when you watch him. Like, he plays an overly stereotypical version of an Asian character on that show. And oh my God, is he funny. Especially the British guy. Everything always sounds a lot better in a British voice. The dolphin died on the sidewalk. Anybody who hasn't seen The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, you need to watch it. It's on Netflix. It is so goddamn funny. And I think like in the next week or two, season 2 starts. So definitely watch that. But yeah, I'm blanking on his name. But the guy who plays Dong in that show, I think him and Damon Wayans Jr., I think would be a great team up, especially going up against Janko and Schmidt, against Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. That to me would be really funny. There's a lot of antics and crazy antics that they can do. So I think that it actually has a higher chance of working than it ever did before, at least in my mind. What do you guys think? Do you think that this movie sounds like it's going to be terrible? James Bobbin is the only thing that to me is a little bit of a question mark, because I personally didn't really care for the Muppets, and I hated the first Alice in Wonderland movie. I'm not looking that much forward to the next one. So it'll be curious to see whether or not he actually stays on as director. But production is scheduled to start later this summer for a 2017 release. So check back more on that. But staying in Sony news, get this. So they announced the other day that they're dusting off that Venom movie that they were working on. And everybody got really excited, like, finally, we're getting our Venom movie that we wanted, that Alex Kurtzman was working on. That, I mean, they're obviously going to retool it a little bit to work in this new universe. This is going to be excellent. We're finally going to see Venom realized properly on the screen. We're going to see him interact with Spider-Man. We're going to see some epic battles. And, oh, wait. This Venom is not going to be in the Spider-Man universe. Thank you, Avi Arad. Fuck. Like, God damn it. Why? How does does he have, like, the goddamn rights to these characters? Why does he still have a production company in Hollywood? The dude doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He has single-handedly derailed a lot of these projects because he's a moron. He is an idiot. He has no idea. He's like the friggin', oh, goddammit, the old head of Fox who's now running Sony. Tom Rothman. He's like Tom Rothman, but as a producer, not as a studio head. Like, seriously, he's one of the main reasons why the Fantastic Four movies were as bad as they were. He's one of the ancillary reasons as to why X-Men Origins Wolverine was as bad as it was. You know, I mean, Spider-Man 3, he's one of the main reasons why Venom was included in that movie, because Sam Raimi did not want that character in the movie. He wanted Venom to be his own film, and he wasn't there yet. He was going to save that for potentially a 4th or a 5th film. But no, they said, nope, we got to sell toys. You got to put Venom in the movie. And so they haphazardly did it, and the dude's a friggin' idiot. I hate Avi Arad. He is a plague upon Hollywood when it comes to these big event tentpole films. Why the hell he still has rights to this is beyond me. But apparently they're going to be striving more for an Agent Venom movie. This is going to be a singular franchise separate from Spider-Man, which is so utterly stupid. I don't even know how to even go about it. Like, so here's one of the direct quotes that I wrote on here. It's going to be separate from the new Spidey universe, much like how Deadpool was from the X-Men universe. I mean, there were little tie-ins here and there, but for the most part, the movie was separate. This is in direct response of Deadpool, and I'm not sure how I like it. I want to see these stories told on screen, but not by Avi Arad or Matt Tolmach, and certainly not divorced from a Spider-Man world. Now, out of all of them, okay, so let's get all that out of the way. Sorry for that rant. Let's get all that out of the way. If we're doing an Agent Venom movie where he's going to be an anti-hero, he's not going to be a monster, that means that we're not going to get Eddie Brock, because Eddie Brock is, I mean, he's just a psychopath, essentially. I mean, he worked for the Daily Bugle, but he's mentally unstable. I think we're going to get Flash Thompson, because Flash Thompson in the comics was the one where, he was at least, no, I don't want to say nice, but he towed the line between good and bad. So I think that we're most likely going to see Flash Thompson get the symbiote attached to him. But, god damn it, this is so stupid. I really hate Avi Arad. I really do. Because I hate it when people who really don't know what it is the hell that they're doing are in charge of projects like this, or in situations where they can make big decisions that have huge impacts. I hate that because they're inept. God damn it, I hate Avi Arad. But, I mean, we still have no idea when this movie is going to start production. I mean, it was just announced that they're dusting the cobwebs off of it. I hope that after the fan response, I'm hoping the fan response was just like me and saying, like, God damn it, somebody fucking put Avi Arad in a hole. Like, throw him just in a hole somewhere and make sure that he can't climb out of it. Like, he needs to just go away. He needs to go away. Retire off of his millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that he has. And go away. Leave the producing to people who know what they are doing. No word on when production is going to start on this movie, or even when it's going to be released. I hope they change everything. I hope that Venom becomes a character in the Spider-Man universe. What I hope doesn't happen is that we get two Venoms. That we get a Venom in this series, and then we get another Venom that's just kind of like a knockoff in the Spider-Man universe. No, to hell with that. Don't even do this movie if you're not going to have it a part of the Spider-Man universe. It makes no sense. It's like having a Luke Skywalker movie and then saying, oh yeah, lightsabers. No, we're not going to have a lightsaber in this movie. He can't use any Force powers. No. What? No. They're like yin and yang. They need to be together. So to hell with you, Avi Arad. If you have any more questions or want to know anything more about this, put a comment in the comment section below. Other than that, I hope this movie dies. This last little bit of news is a little bit sad for me because ever since I was a kid, I think I was maybe 12 when I first read this book. When I first read the book MEG, I thought it was awesome. Now, again, I read it as a 12-year-old. And it hit all the things I ever wanted to see. Like, the book opens with back at like 70 million years ago, where you see this T-Rex, chasing after this other dinosaur, and then it goes into the water, and the T-Rex almost gets it, but then it looks out, and you just see this giant fin that's like half the size of the friggin' T-Rex coming at him, and then it eats the T-Rex. Like, it's a shark that eats a T-Rex! Are you kidding me? And then it jumps to modern day, and the theory in the book, which, again, as a 12-year-old made sense, was that there was a jet stream of of warm water that went straight down to the ocean floor, and a megalodon, before the meteor hit the earth and destroyed the dinosaurs, that it took this kind of jet stream down to the bottom of the Marianas Trench, where there was still a little bit of warm water down there because of this jet stream, and it survived down there for millions and millions and millions of years. Now, I'm pretty sure it's not the same one, but it had kids and whatnot, so that was the main idea. But then in the movie, it comes back up, and it now starts terrorizing everybody. This, to me, sounds awesome. Then they announced that Eli Roth was going to be directing. I'm like, yes, they're keeping the horror aspect of it, because even though the book is more action-oriented, Eli Roth was going to bring in a horror element to it. And I feel that with him being given a bigger budget, because this movie needs a big budget. It needs at least 80 to 100 million. This doesn't need to be a $200 million feature, but it would need to be at least 80 to 100 million. I think with that kind of budget, the producers of the movie would reel him in a little bit, keep him a little bit under control, but that dude knows how to do horror. He knows how to scare you. And so having that be with a giant shark movie that's supposed to also be an action movie, that was going to be really cool. And now they've gotten rid of Eli Roth, who is a horror director. And now, we don't know exactly why. he may have stepped off. He may have just said, you know what, the movie's just not it doesn't have a lot of steam right now. There's other projects I want to do, so I'm going to drop this. Or maybe his version or his vision was in conflict with the producers. We still don't know. But Eli Roth is no longer doing the movie, and they've now got John Turteltaub. Now, I like his films. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he did National Treasure. I didn't really care for National Treasure 2 all that much. And he's still on board for National Treasure 3. He also did The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which it could have been better, but it was entertaining. It had some cool special effects in it. I think that's one of the reasons why they went with him. But, he also did Three Ninjas. He did The Kid. This is a Disney director. This is a family-friendly director. Now, he did a movie 17 or 18 years ago called Instinct, which was with Anthony Hopkins and Cuba Gooding Jr., which was a divisive movie. I thought it was a really cool psychological thriller, really playing with the minds of the characters, and I thought it was kind of well done. But other than that, he hasn't really strayed that far from these family-friendly Disney-type films, like The Kid being the one with Bruce Willis, and obviously everybody knows Three Ninjas, Rocky. But I'm nervous now. I'm a little nervous about this property, and I feel that they're striving more towards family-friendly action in a giant shark movie. Like, he's a very weird choice for this movie. Right off the bat, it means that they're getting rid of the horror element, which is a real piss off for me, because I feel that's one reason why a lot of these big shark movies don't work, because they don't play up the horror element of it. I mean, you go back and watch Jaws. Jaws, the all-time shark movie, one of the all-time movies, period. It played up the horror element. Now, I think part of that was due to the fact the shark never worked, but you look at what the filmmakers had the ability to do, and nowadays, you have the ability to not show it, and if you wanted to change your mind later on, you could do it with CGI. Like, we have the ability to do that now. So, Meg is a movie where you're going to see the shark more often. You read the book. It's not about the mystery of the shark. It's about what the hell the shark can do to you, and the fact that it can jump out of the air and eat a helicopter. Just thinking about those sequences, that movie's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome as long as it's done right. I personally don't think that John Turteltaub is the right guy to do it. Again, I like his films, but and he's, I mean, going back, like I said, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, it had a lot of special effects. It was a big tentpole movie. It didn't make a lot of money, or at least comparative to its budget, but I think that's one of the reasons why they're going with him, because he has experience working with a lot of special effects. Minorly in the National Treasure movies, but you look at The Sorcerer's Apprentice, you have, like cars transforming, going into alternate realities and stuff. Like, it was a pretty trippy movie. All based off that one skit from Fantasia. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, I'm. Who knows? Who knows? John Turteltaub may come out. Maybe they're working from the same script that Eli Roth was working for. Maybe this is something different for him. That's something I would like to see. Somebody kind of step out of their wheelhouse a little bit and really challenge themselves as a creator and filmmaker. I think that could work. But this is, again, another instance where somebody has left the film. Like, who was it? Jan de Bont, the guy who directed Speed. He was at one point set to direct Meg. He also did Lara Croft Tomb Raider 2, The Cradle of Life, which, as we all know, was not a great movie, although it introduced a lot of people to Gerard Butler. So who knows? I mean, John Turteltaub may not even actually be the one to do this movie. At this point, though, they need to make it. They're spending money like crazy on development of this film. When the movie comes out, it's going to need to make like $500 million domestically just to break even. And I hope that's not the case. I would really love to see Meg. It's been so long since we've seen a giant shark movie, especially one that's well made. The Steve Alton book it's good source material. There's good stories to be taken out of that, and you can really make a good project with that. You need to just make sure that the dialogue is on point. That's the one area in these movies that they don't really focus on, is the dialogue. And even if you say, like, well, we don't care, we don't need the dialogue all that much because people are going for the spectacle. Yeah, but people are going to be bored by the spectacle if they don't care about what's happening on screen. So you need to make them invest in these characters, and I hope that's what they can do. If John Turteltaub is the man to bring that out, then awesome. Then this is the right course of action. But I would have liked to have seen Eli Roth's version a little bit more. It struck me as odd when he was first announced, but then I thought about it. I'm like, yes, a horror director. They can bring out the horror. I like that. I hope that they can go that route. But because this movie's been in development for so long and it's a revolving door of directors, I honestly don't know when we're going to see, when we are going to see this movie actually go into production. I really don't. I mean, I don't know who's going to be cast as because I think there's 3 main characters. There's 2 or 3 doctors, like scientists that are the main characters in it. So I would like to see this movie made. I would absolutely love to see this movie made. I'm nervous about John Turteltaub, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Has anybody out there read the book? Who would you like to see as a director for this movie? I think Eli Roth would have been a really great choice because he's so outside of the box that you're like, God, that's crazy. It might work. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if we get more information about this movie, then I will definitely update you guys on here. Well, that'll about do it for us here on Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click that subscribe button there in the bottom corner. You get updates whenever a new video is posted. You can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And also like our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/movie news with Niklsun. If you ever have a topic or question you'd like to have talked about on the show, go ahead and email me at movienewswithniklsun@gmail.com or put a comment in the comment section. But until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.